Yo, still ill, pushed it, is ill, man. Yo, I'm fresh off the clock. About to go home, kick my feet up before I go pick my daughter up from high school. God damn it, high school. First day of high school. Oh my God. Oh my God. But we game, man. Listen, man. We gotta. I'ma just do it, man. We gotta give a breakdown of how I think this Usyk versus Anthony Joshua fight is gonna go, man. First of all, it's a battle. Both of these motherfuckers is coming into this fight with a chip on their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Usyk is bringing the pain of his people to this fight. When he left Ukraine, they told him, "Yo, man, we need this. We need this. You know, we need you to go out here and do the damn thing on behalf of us, man." And it just seemed to turn him. It turned on like like he's on demon time right now. He allegedly knocking out sparring partners, and that's not even really his. That's not his game whatsoever. Usyk has never been known as a motherfucker who's going to go in there and get rid of you. No, if the knockout comes, the knockout comes. But he's a finesse fighter. He's a cerebral fighter, man. But he's in there allegedly knocking out sparring partners. He was real angry allegedly when he got off the plane. You ducking bombs and gunshots and tank rounds and all that shit. Even if it's not you personally, you're in that chaotic environment to where somebody you know is being subject to that type of mistreatment, man. So the fact that their country was invaded on some dictatorship type shit, and you know that doesn't sit well with the people, with the Ukrainian people over there. So he's looking to come and take some aggravation out on somebody and make that right, you know, do something on behalf of his people, you dig? So you got that aspect, and you got Anthony Joshua, who honestly is the most accomplished heavyweight in the modern era. The most accomplished heavyweight. He's beat the most mandatory. He's honored all his mandatory. He collected 3 belts, 2 by, you know, going through an opponent. He's a 2-time heavyweight world champion. You know, he unified 3 belts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he still doesn't get the respect he deserves. It's still narratives being thrown out there that he, you know, he dubbed Deontay Wilder, despite all of the evidence provided proving the contrary to him. So he's just a dude who feels he hasn't gotten his respect, and honestly, he hasn't. There's people who still, oh, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. You know, he's stiff. He's not this, he's not that. And he, despite him beating some real reputable opponents, the opponents that he's beat, they look for a reason to, to discredit him for it. Povetkin, he was this and then the third. Povetkin had never been stopped. He lost 112 with Klitschko, didn't get stopped. But you know, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. He's just a dude who's been consistently disrespected throughout his career. Mainly when the fight between him and Wilder really started bubbling. That's when you started to really see people go balls to the wall with the disrespect for Anthony Joshua, man. And it's like they can't wait for him to lose so they can point the finger and say, "I told you so," as opposed to saying Usyk is a bad motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you got Andy Ruiz and I'm not hearing he wasn't right mentally. No, I won't allow that excuse to go down, because he was all right up until he put Ruiz on his ass. He was all right till he did that. He made a mistake and prematurely went in for a kill and got beat for it. Lesson learned, he didn't do it again. That's why he adjusted in the rematch. Now, one thing I am hearing people say that he makes adjustments for the rematch, which history has proven he does. He did it with Andy Ruiz, but Usyk is not Ruiz. Usyk is a southpaw. Ruiz isn't. Usyk doesn't have close to 300 pounds of body weight on him that will slow him down, making him lethargic on his feet. Usyk doesn't have that. Usyk has really good upper body movement. Usyk is an incredible counterpuncher. Usyk is a calculated pressure fighter when he wants to be. And not pressure in the sense of him walking you down, but him just putting pressure on you with just getting his shots off first. You saw how he had Anthony Joshua, him punching off of them angles. That's pressure. It's not necessarily applying pressure like I'm walking you down. No, but if I'm forcing you to think, I'm putting you under an immense amount of pressure to where you're way out of character. Yes, that's definitely pressure. That's definitely pressure. And a lot of people fold under pressure. And Joshua folded under pressure in that last fight. So the adjustments that he had to make for Ruiz, it won't be as easy as it is for the adjustments he will have to make against the likes of a Usyk. However, he's looking to right them wrongs, man. I've heard him. He said, "I don't give a fuck about that Ring Magazine belt. This is about the fight." So he's like, I think, you know, he's like, I'm fighting for my pride right now. Despite all my accomplishments, I'm yet to get the respect that I'm due because motherfuckers is just so hell-bent on Deontay Wilder. As if he hasn't done far more than Deontay Wilder. It's fucked up. It's unfair. You know, he loses, he gets dropped down in the rankings. Wilder loses, he still remains number one in the WBC. It's just really ridiculous how they do him, man. It's fucked up. Nonetheless, pros and cons to both of them. I'm hearing Usyk, I'm hearing he put on more weight. I don't know how much more weight he's put on. That'll be really telling on weigh-ins on Friday. It'll be Friday. I think Friday morning over here. It'll be really telling over here. I mean on Friday when they weigh in how much he put on, because that's going to determine. That's what, you know. I heard he put on a lot of weight in the first match, and then when I heard he was only like 225 or something like that, I'm like, that's not the weight that I was expecting. I was expecting him to put on, you know, to be 230 or some shit like that, 240. I'm like, yeah, that's manageable right there. Like, he should be able to deal with him a lot better at that weight. But then I'm hearing only 225. I'm like, oh man, 220, I think. It's like, yo, that is not what I was expecting to hear. But I'm hearing he put on more weight because he's understanding that Joshua is actually coming in here and planning on being a wrecking ball. So he wants to be able to be sturdy enough to take that type of punishment. Because with the little bit of success that Anthony Joshua had in his last match, look at the damage that he was able to accumulate on Usyk's face. He cut him. You saw him clearly go on a retreat when when he tapped the body. He hurt Usyk in that last fight. Usyk stepped up his punch output to be able to keep Anthony Joshua at bay, and it worked. It worked. So does he do that in this match? The thing is, Anthony Joshua can only make one adjustment. He can only make one adjustment, and that's to be aggressive. Anthony Joshua is not going to go in there and outbox Alexander Usyk. Usyk can make a multitude of adjustments, and he can make them on the fly because he has the better boxing brain. He's the more agile fighter. He doesn't have all that muscle on him. He would be considered a miniature heavyweight in this era of boxing. If this was the 90s and the early 2000s, yeah, he'd be a decent sized heavyweight. Which, even by today's standards, he's a decent sized heavyweight, but he's still a small heavyweight in the same aspect. To be at that elite level, you dig? The top heavyweights are like, Fury, who's listed at 6'9". I don't think he's 6'9". Joshua, who's 6'6". Deontay Wilder, who's listed at 6'7". I don't think he's 6'7". Philip Hergovich is at 6'5". Joe Joyce is 6'6". Dubois 6'4". These are reputable heavyweights, man. Joseph Parker is listed at 6'3". These are reputable heavyweights. They're all bigger than Usyk, but it's his size and he's agile and his ability enough to get step around and whatever. He can step around your lead hand. We don't have too many southpaws in the division. I can't necessarily think of one at the time being. So he's stepping around everybody's lead left hand to create angles and open up punch scoring opportunities on behalf of him. But does he do that in this fight if he's putting on all that weight? And like I was saying earlier, man, all them rounds that Joshua lost, and as bad as he looked, the amount of damage that man was able to do that's what stuck out in my mind more so than anything. He's there to be, well, he's not there to be hit, but Joshua is calculated enough to get that shot off, man. The power in his hands is enough to force Usyk to stand still and really rethink shit. Like, oh shit, it's enough to put him on his back foot. We saw that, and not just his back foot from a counterpuncher standpoint, but his back foot of him being on the retreat. We saw that in the last match. So I just think with Anthony Joshua, he doesn't have to win this fight by knockout. He doesn't. And what I mean by that is, I'm not saying that he can go in there and outbox Usyk. That is not going to happen whatsoever. But what he can do is go in there and hurt Usyk enough to where he can, he can go in there, he can hurt Usyk to where it mutes his offense. It mutes his offense. Only thing you're getting out of Usyk is movement. You're getting lateral movement. And all Anthony Joshua has to do is be the aggressor. Dropping, hurting, and force him to keep his hands at home to protect himself. And you don't, or hurt him enough, accumulate enough punishment in the early rounds to where you can take a round off, still apply pressure, still fit. You can use those rounds to fence with the jab and step in behind the jab. But you're not gonna overexert yourself. You just simply, I'm taking this round off, and then the next round step it up. That's all he needs to do, or that's not needs to do, but that's all he really can do. But I don't want him to go in there and expect a knockout in 12 rounds. Got to get him out of there in 6 rounds, because that's what Eddie Hearn's saying. What happens when they see round 7? What happens then? And he's completely spent all of his energy preserves trying to knock this dude out, and that knockout might not come. You can apply calculated pressure. You can walk right in his chest. That's going to be hard to do. You could walk right in his chest, and wherever the shot, let the shot go. Wherever it lands, it lands. Hit him in his arms. Hit him in his chest. Just hit him. If you see him, hit it. You see it, hit it. You see it, hit it. Instead of trying to be calculated and just go for the headshot, tap the body. Tap the body. You was a 250-pound man. There is wherever you place your fist on that man's frame, he's going to feel that shit. That's what Canelo does. Take a page out of Canelo's book. And this is why I think the left hook, that they should really be trying to develop his left hook, because Usyk is going to angle out to his left side, to the outside of Joshua's left hand. He's going to do that. That's the logical thing to do as the southpaw when you have the southpaw advantage to gain lead foot positioning. Why not utilize that to step around you and force you to reset? He's going to do that, and when he does that, Joshua really needs to be fixated on throwing them left hooks. And I think that shit right there will really exemplify his uppercut. His uppercut is possibly his best punch. You get in the rhythm with landing that left hook, he's not going nowhere. He's anticipating the left hook. He's right there. Boom, step in with the uppercut. And off that uppercut, throw that left hook. That possibly puts him on his ass, just like you did Andy Ruiz. But I just need him to do that. That's what I need him to be, the aggressor. I need him to be that. You're gonna have to put yourself in harm's way in order to gain this, in order to get this fight. You took Usyk's best shot. You took his best shot. You've been in there with bigger punchers. You've been in there with the Povetkin. You've been in there with Klitschko. You got up off the canvas with Klitschko. Despite if they think he let up off the gas, that's besides the point. If he did, if he didn't, oh well, he shouldn't have. You got your bearings back and got him up out of there. There's no way in hell Usyk is a bigger puncher than Klitschko. You took that from Klitschko. You can take that from Usyk. You can take that from Usyk. You just gotta get back in the war mode. You gotta get back on demon time. And I think he could go in here. I don't want to say a knockout. I don't want to disrespect Usyk like that. But I believe he can go in here and win this rematch. He can go in here and hurt this dude and put him on like, oh shit, yo, this is a different Joshua. This is a different Joshua. He most definitely can do that. And if Usyk is really putting on this extra weight, that means he's going to be there to get hit that much more. But Usyk seems to be like a dude. Usyk seems to be a type of cat who can carry that weight properly. He can carry that weight properly, and acclimate himself to that weight, and still perform or still bring his, it wouldn't hinder his attributes with his foot speed, his graceful footwork. So he seems to be like a dude who can do that, who can carry his weight well, and the weight that's not going to have an effect on his feet as long as it's just not too much weight. But even then, man, he may not be used to fighting at 230 pounds. So that's when you come into play and you take advantage of that. Step in behind the jab. This fight, you should never be at mid distance with Usyk. You should be forcing him to work from rounds 1 to however long the fight go. 12. Let's look for a 12-round bout. But I just need you to beat him up during them 12 rounds. I need his arms hurting. That dude said he went to bed, he went to his hotel and fell asleep sitting down off of the little bit of damage off of the little bit of success that you had in the last match. You can do that again. You can do that again. Just do it. You just gotta apply yourself. You gotta assert yourself. You gotta assert yourself. Go in there and make the thing happen, man. You can win this fight and become a 3-time heavyweight world champion. And we can get undisputed, because Fury ain't coming back to fight no goddamn Alexander Usyk. He's not doing it. He's not doing it. It will not happen. So I'm just saying, man, I believe you can do it. I don't know who I have winning this fight, though. I don't know who I have winning this fight, man. I don't know. I think both of them can win this fight. I think the aesthetic of the fight is going to make it that much more of a compelling fight. And can the adjustments that Anthony Joshua worked on work against Usyk? Will his pressure that he's looking to add to Usyk, will his pressure force him to burn through his energy reserve, trying to keep Usyk stagnant and stationary, and trying to put all that excess weight on him? I need you to wrap him up. I need you to put your weight, just like Klitschko did, or what Fury did with Wilder. Wrap him up, put your weight on him, man. Force all that weight, force him to have to stand back up. That shit is tiresome, man. When someone is leaning over you like that and you bent down at your waist and that putting all the, not only your weight, your legs are using to hold your weight up, but the opponent's weight that's leaning on you. You gotta hold his weight up as well, so you don't hit the floor. You dig? Force him to get up off the canvas. Just wrestle him. Force him to get up off the canvas. Just wrestle him and make him fall. Tripping. Just put that type of pressure on him. Put that type of pressure on him. You can do this. I know you can. But Usyk is going to be a tough outing. I really need... that is going to be tough. Because even if you do all of that shit, his ability to adjust. Usyk is a bad motherfucker, man. Usyk is a great. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. He's arguably one of the greatest. He has an argument for being the greatest cruiserweight ever. He has a legit argument. He has a legit argument. Then you go on to become a unified heavyweight world champion. Usyk is one of the greatest. That's a bad motherfucker right there. So everything I'm saying, I don't want it to seem as if like, oh, that's all you got to do and he's going to waver. No, that's not all you have to do. That's going to be tough, because even with that being said, you still have to protect yourself. So you don't want to fuck around. You don't want to just go in there and just do it and just fuck it. You just, I'm burning. I got 6 rounds in me. If I don't get him out in 6 rounds, no, you don't want to. You don't need. This doesn't need to be a 6-round fight. It could be a 12-round fight. But in 12 rounds, you can just beat the shit out of him and let him know I'm here, my nigga. And that's just what time it is. So I don't at this moment, I don't know. This is not going to be the same fight that it was from the first fight. We saw with Derek Chisora, what he looked like against Derek Chisora with that type of pressure. It's applied to him. It was real uncomfortable. It was real unsettling. It was like, yo, this dude is real life coming out. And it took him a while to really get his bearings up under him. to deal with the pressure of Derek Chisora. Now, people, they raise their level of, you know, they play to their level of competition. Derek Chisora is not Anthony Joshua whatsoever. So he'll be a lot more cautious in there with Anthony Joshua on Saturday than he was with a Derek Chisora. Because Derek Chisora is, you know, he'll smother his punches. He's just looking to get in there and just smother you and just outwork you and just maul you. And then eventually, as you start to break down, then he starts to land a little bit more effectively and get you to fuck up out the paint. Joshua's a lot more calculated with than Derek Chisora. So if you add that type of pressure that Derek Chisora added to Usyk, you could break him. You could get a knockout. But I just don't want you to go in there expecting a knockout, because when you go in there and you expect the fucking knockout, you're gonna fuck around and you're gonna do some dumb shit. You're gonna do some dumb shit, like burn through all. You might not get him out. You talking 6. He may not be ready to go until the 9th. Who the fuck is this? Oh, he may not be ready to go to the 9th. He may not be ready to go to the 10th or 11th or 12th, and he may not be ready to go at all. I just need you to get up there and apply that pressure to him. Calculated pressure, smart pressure, protect yourself. Bang on his arms, bang on his chest, wrap him up, trip him up, lean on him, do all that shit, and tap the body. Tap the body. He's gonna be a squiggly motherfucker, so you're gonna have to find a way to pin him down. But when you tap that body, you're gonna slow him down. You tap that body like you did in the first match, and you could win this fight. You could win this fight, but I'm not picking a winner. I don't know. Anthony Joshua has a fan in me, win, lose, or draw. And that's just what it is. I'm pulling for him because I want him to win. Because he's the most disrespected. He's my favorite heavyweight. He's the most disrespected heavyweight. For the dude who's accomplished so much and the dude who don't duck no drama. I'm pulling for Anthony Joshua because I still want to see him in Wilder and I still want to see him in Fury. But I'm not mad if he loses to Usyk, because Usyk is a bad motherfucker. And I don't know how those adjustments he's made over this past year is going to play out in front of Derek Chisora. Not Derek Chisora, but Usyk. So I'm not picking a winner. I'm hoping Joshua wins, but I'm not picking a winner. I'm going to just be the nigga that's like cheering for him, but I'm still skeptical. And that's pretty much all I got to say about it, man. We rooting for Team Joshua. That's what it is. I hope you get the job done. And we own the undisputed, man. So I'm going in the house to get me something to eat, man. Nigga hungry as a motherfucker, man. So that's all I got to say, man. Deuces.